Hello there, my name is Bryan Hubbard and I'm the publisher of What Doctors Don't Tell You. I'm speaking to you today from our offices in London, and as the latest issue has just reached us, I'd like to share some of the great stories that are in it with you. It's the June 2010 issue. As you can see, the major cover story is called Cancer's Missing Link, and it's the extraordinary discovery that bacteria plays a significant part in the cause of cancer. We think we've pretty much worked out what cancer is and how to treat it, but the stats don't bear this out. Cancer continues to be a growing epidemic, and the ways of treating it don't seem to be working too well. We think this is because we don't actually understand the true cause of the disease. Strangely enough, once upon a time we did. 100 years ago, doctors were mooting the idea that bacteria was a significant cause of cancer. This got kicked into touch by other experts who said this was not possible. So what happened? It's because then they didn't really understand what bacteria was, and they didn't have the sensitivity of different microscopes in order to watch its progress. What we now know is that bacteria can go through different life forms, it can change shape, it can lose its cell walls. When it does, it becomes cancerous. But why does it do it in the first place? It's because of all the insults that we already know cause cancer. Smoking, pollutants, lifestyle and diet, all these cause cancer, but because bacteria is changing through those insults. This is an absolutely vital report, and it's one that everyone should read whether or not they have cancer. I know that nobody certainly wants to get it, and this does explain how it's caused. Another significant story this month is about the role of the World Health Organization, the WHO, in last year's swine flu alert. I'm sure we all remember, and we're all quaking in our beds, about this epidemic that was going to kill millions of us. At the time, you may remember the chief medical officer saying 750,000 people in Britain alone would die from this terrible disease. Well, as we know, it didn't happen. And in fact, it's the latest scare that didn't happen. Two others didn't happen as well. Avian flu and SARS before that. Now, this story is an investigation into the role that the drug companies have played in working with the WHO in determining whether or not it was an epidemic. Now, an epidemic is known as a phase 6 alert. Now, what had happened was the drug companies had already locked in most of the governments around the world into automatically purchasing their viral medicines the moment a phase 6 alert was called. Guess what? One was called and it unlocked millions and millions of pounds worth of contracts. Now people are saying, hold on a minute, was this a real alert or is there something else going on here? Again, a very important story. Every month What Dogs has great stories, and there's some more in this issue too. For example, great story here about the effects of the planets and the weather on our own health and our own well-being. Great story here too from our deputy editor Joe Evans, osteoporosis and the brain-bone connection, and in fact how osteoporosis could be caused by depression. A fascinating discovery and one well worth reading. Epilepsy too gets a thorough investigation this month. If you know anyone who's an epileptic, you also know that the drugs are pretty dangerous and damaging, and indeed can be killers. So what else can someone do? Well, again, we look at this. Finally, in this issue, and as always, we have Dr. Harold Geyer, our health detective. This month is looking at drugs that stay in the system. Now we think we take a drug, we hopefully get better, we move on. But Harold has discovered quite a few drugs stay in the system far, far longer than you might think. And of course, if then later you take another drug, you actually are then getting a cumulative effect, and that can become quite toxic. Now, What Doctors Don't Tell You is not available on the newsstands. It's available by subscription only. And you can subscribe by going to our health shop. Alternatively, you can become a WDDTY VIP. And that way you get this report as a download, plus latest books, plus 14 other special reports, plus free access to our teleseminars. Now I'm going to do something a little bit amateurish here, but I hope you pick this up. These are the two URLs, okay? WDDTYVIP.com, which is if you want to join the VIP club, get this report, 14 others, plus 3 health books, plus free access to our teleseminars. Or if you want to subscribe and get this mailed to you through your letterbox every month, you go to WDDTYHealthShop, or one word, .com. Well, that's it for this month, and thank you so much for paying attention and sparing a few moments to listen. As I say, I'm Bryan Hubbard, and this is What Doctors Don't Tell You. Thanks again.